Good morning and welcome to all the participants. We have the special guest V Ramaswamy, who is actually talking about mind opening. Maybe I understand this as opposite of mindset or mind fixing, and preempting what is going to happen, etc. So I request KVR to introduce yourself and start.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your valuable time, KVR, for preparing and presenting this something new, which is not a regular technical or book related topics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you, sir. Thank you very much, SP sir. And good morning once again to everybody who is logged on. And of course, I wish to thank Zandig for giving this nice platform and opportunity to share our thoughts and in a useful way spend our Saturday morning from 10 to 12. So we've had very good speakers in the past. So today decided to do a very different topic, which is called Mind Openers for Managers. And this is created from a book with the same title called Mind Openers for Managers. And this particular book has been written by the youngest regional vice president of Procter & Gamble, Europe. His name is John O'Keefe. And he simply says that we have done this I have written this book for the achievement of bigger and better things. So that is the philosophy behind it. So we will learn about what is mind opening, a bit of introduction about myself before we go forward. V Ramaswamy, you can call me KVR as I know to my friends and colleagues. I have worked over 30 years in the industry, started career in IT, and of course, almost all the way through was in IT, except for the past 7 years, I've moved out of IT. And for the past almost 3-4 years, I've been collaborating with Zandig, as well as some of my other colleagues, Abhijit, who is also on the call today. So we do as my introduction said in the PDF, I provide training content. I help my friends to create training content. I don't do too much of training, but as an exception, I have done this today because I was earlier associated with Wipro, where I've done a lot of training. And the interesting part there was I am a total process guy. I've been into quality. I was heading quality for a large function of Wipro. And the funny thing was actually my mind was stuck and my mind was set into process. I could only think of process. And then when I moved into training, it was a very interesting thing that my manager, Dr. Selvan Dorairaj, he said that now you have to do something totally different. So he made me head of something called a creativity group in Wipro. And that is when I started exploring some of these topics related to creativity, mind opening, and all that. So that is by way of brief introduction. And I thought I will share this brief piece with you and hope that you get inspired and motivated to think differently and see whether you can open your mind. So it'll be a fun session, it'll be a light session. And I hope there will be a lot of participation and sharing as we go ahead. I also want to introduce my colleagues and friends, GSV, who will be helping me with the chat as well as some annotations if possible. And also Rekha, who is our colleague in Zandig, who will help us, who is anyway the backbone of all this, sending out the mails and organizing the session. So she'll also be helping us with the the administration of this session as we go forward. So it is almost like a movie, whereas in a classroom you just go and talk and you have a whiteboard, it's done. But when you're doing it virtually, you probably require a team like producer, director, actor, and all those people. Anyway, so that is by way of brief introduction. So the suggested ground rules for the session is, you can make very good use of the chat. And my friends and colleagues will be monitoring the chat as well, and they will try to respond. If there is anything, they will call my attention as well. And we are trying to use this thumb raise. There is a, below your screen, there is something called reactions. If you push your cursor down the screen, you will see that there is something called reaction, and there is a thumb raise and a clapping symbol. So the thumb raise symbol, if you want to express something, you can actually use both those symbols. And actually, you can use the clapping symbol or the thumb raise, but thumb raise is preferred in case you want me to notice and you want my colleagues to notice, and they, we can allow you to speak. And if you wish to speak, otherwise, chat will be the general default medium for conversation. And you will get more if you actually try out puzzles and exercises. And the key there is without referring to others' answers, because what happens is we will request you to share your answers on chat, but you do it without seeing what the others are writing, so that you get a chance to open your own mind and think through. And one more request is, if possible, you please grab a pencil and paper and have it near your hand, because some of these sessions we cannot annotate fully on the screen. You will have to try it out yourself before we show it by annotations on the screen. So if possible, please grab a paper and pencil and keep it by your side. So these are the ground rules for now. Is everybody okay with this so far? Can you give me just a general thumbs up, everybody? Just show it to me so that I know that I am communicating to you. Okay, thank you. I think few of you are raising your thumbs. Very good. So great. Thank you very much. So this, I've got the okay from your side. So I'll go ahead. So the objectives of this session is to introduce to the concept of mindset and understand why minds get set. And we will explore 7 ways in which our minds get set. 7 is just a number, 7 days of a week, Sapta Rishis, 7 seas. So many 7 is a very nice mystical number. So we try to open the minds in 7 ways. And we also need to develop an attitude of, I can do this. That is the motivating yourself. And also you can use these puzzles and mind openers to open other people's minds as well. Now, one thing we should understand, that mindset is not bad at all. We are not saying mindset is bad, because mind being set is also important. Because in the morning itself, from the morning, if your mind is very, very open, you will start thinking which side of the bed I should get out, this side or that side. Then you will start thinking and becoming very creative in terms of, can I brush my teeth differently? Can I bathe differently? So it will take enormous amount of time for you to get dressed and come out. So much so that, we close our mind on all those things. We do it in a certain way, which is good actually. But it becomes dangerous when we close our minds to certain real problems and real issues which we face in life. Therefore, we need to keep opening our minds. In fact, 2 examples come to mind. Our beloved past president Abdul Kalam, it seems, used to wear only blue shirts. So he has no problem of deciding which shirt to wear. All his shirts are blue. And similarly, the past president of the US, Obama, used to have 2 suits only, one blue and one gray. So no confusion. When one is given for washing, and the other is. So they had close mind on this, which is good. But still, there are certain areas where we surely need to develop the open mind. So we'll see what is a mindset. So the mindset is a way you look at things. And what happens is, it is easy to develop based on a few facts. So mind constantly keeps getting closed, and we need to open the mind. And what is also said is, mind is like a parachute. And it's okay as long as you're going about your day-to-day life. But suddenly, if you're in a crisis, then the parachute itself should open up. Then only it has value when you jump from a plane. If it is closed, then there is no value. Therefore, your mind also should be like a parachute and open. So why our minds get set? We have to think in those terms. So one reason could be our upbringing, our exposure, our religion. So somebody may be only like a frog in the well. So the frog in the well cannot understand how big the sea is, because it has never gone beyond the well. So it will keep on jumping up and down in the well. So the mind is set into that small, limited mindset. Similarly, our upbringing. Somebody may have told us that X is bad, Y is bad, and they might have categorized also. So, for example, I have a certain mindset that none of the auto drivers in Chennai will put a meter. And when I actually went there once, I think, I don't know, due to some reason, and the Egmore station, one fellow said, I will come by meter. I was shocked. I thought, how come this fellow is doing? There must be something wrong in this. Because my mind was so set that these fellows will not put meter and they will cheat you. So like this, we actually get set in our minds due to various experiences. So due to repeated exposure, repeated conditioning of the mind, our minds get set. So we could have heard statements like, they have a closed mind, mental block, blind spots. We can't see, she just can't see it. They are looking in a limited way. These kind of things are called mindsets. So can you give some examples of mindsets in the chat? So can you just think of yourself from whatever I have said so far? I've talked so far about mindset. So can you think of any mindset in chat? Again, look at while in chat, you try to type first and then look at other people's answers. So I'll pause here. So can we just see if you would like to type out something in chat? What are some mindsets? I gave you an example of the autowalas in Chennai, and I have many more such mindsets. But still, okay. Bengalis eat fish. Nice. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Political debate on TVS. Fine. Yes.
All politicians are corrupt. Somebody has put.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. I mean, we agree with some of these mindsets, but we should remember that there are mindsets. They are mindsets because surely you can find exceptions to those rules as well. Suspecting everyone. Very good. And then so I'm just sampling. Yeah. Go ahead. Right.
South Indians are emotionally attached with their profession.
Nice. Okay.
I cannot learn now. It is too late.
Okay. Okay. So Abhijit is saying KVR is a great guy, which is a mindset right now, which he may change. Okay. Fine. Okay. More PM. Great. Not possible by me. Okay, fine, great, fantastic. So very good examples we are getting of mindsets. So you are getting an idea that this is how the mind gets set, and it is not a bad thing, to be honest. I mean, minds can get set, but we should not get stuck. That is the only message we are trying to give. Very good, excellent answers we have got. So now the next thing is we will try to see what to do about these mindsets. So most of the mindsets are simply conclusions. They are not the only way to see the problem, and there are ample opportunities and alternatives. Okay, so what to do about the minds? So here are some examples of conclusions. Okay, so mindsets are conclusions. I am concluding Peter is no good as a manager. And some of you may have heard of Six Sigma programs. So Six Sigma is very difficult to implement. And ISO is totally theoretical because the records are created just before the audit. Now, I want you to think about, is there any way to look at these situations in a positive way to get positive value? Suppose our mind is like this, mind is set is like this, and as I said, the autowalas in Chennai will never meet up. Is it possible that I can change my mindset? Can I be patient and wait for an autowala who will behave properly with me and set the meter and come? I am reframing my mindset as a question. So is it possible for you to reframe these three mindsets as questions? So I would like to see. Yes, Abhijit would like to speak. Abhijit.
Yeah, I'm looking at the first one. Peter is no good as a manager. I can reframe it by saying, what are certain qualities that Peter can improve upon?
Wonderful, great. So instead of saying Peter is no good as a manager, you're trying to look at it in a different way. I mean, you're not yet concluded. See, the point is we should not conclude. The more we conclude, the more we get into problems. Very good. So, okay. So anybody else would like to try the other two? Six Sigma is no good and ISO is theoretical. Please raise your hand and I will call you out to speak. Anybody would like to try? Like how Abhijit tried the first one, would anybody like to reframe the statement, or are all of you really convinced that Six Sigma is difficult to implement?
There is one option given on chat, KVR.
Oh, okay. What is that option? Why not We give a try. Okay. So why not we give a try? Nice. That could be a general mind opener, you can say, for anything, even for Chinese products or anything about it, which is great. And speaking of China, I'm sure everybody doesn't have a very good mindset about China now, but we still need to appreciate that Chinese have also given us good food, and many of us enjoy Chinese food as well. Okay, wonderful. Ashish has said, let us understand Six Sigma. Fantastic. Let us understand Six Sigma. It's a great way to look at it. Yeah. And anybody?
We could actually look at what benefits ISO can get. Could be the question. What is that advantage? Why you need an ISO? So
yes,
I normally communicate to the people saying that don't implement ISO. Start with don't implement ISO. If you think that it is going to get you a certificate and a lot of worries regarding documentation, then you need not do it. Why you want to increase your work?
Excellent. So basically, we are addressing the mindset level. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And I see Ganesh has also replied how to practically use the ISO theoretical concepts. Excellent. And that is where the consultants are there for, to interpret it properly and to give you the benefits from what it is. Okay. So Peter is no good as a manager. Peter is good at several things. How can I get something more from him? Okay. So Six Sigma is very difficult to implement. Other companies have benefited from Six Sigma. How can I use it more effectively? You've already given very good answers. So ISO is theoretical versus how to improve the monitoring with ISO and show improvements using in key business parameters using process. So this is how we cultivate a better mindset. It is like an open parachute, so that you can save yourself from the crisis by using an open mindset. Now, where do we go from here? So there are 7 ways in which we are choosing to minds get closed. It can get closed even more ways, maybe 100 ways, but we are choosing only 7 for our short session today. So somebody may say, you go with a very lot of enthusiasm and give somebody an idea. They will say, there is nothing in that idea. Then somebody will say, can't see how that can be done. Then on Wednesday's mindset, somebody will say, no, there is only one way to look at it. There is only one way. There is no other way to look at it. Then Thursday, somebody will say, facts have told me that it will not work. Therefore, it will not work. Then Friday, somebody will say, it won't work. If you do that, this will happen. Then Saturday, they will say, big picture looks very nice, but when you go into detail, it will not work. So Sunday's mindset is, it is just impossible. So these are some kind of ways. So we'll see one by one. So the secret of mind opening is you should use all the 3 modes. So whatever puzzles we are going to discuss today will have all the 3 modes: saying and hearing, that is auditory; visual, that is seeing; and kinesthetic is doing. That's why I told you to please keep a paper and pencil nearby. So the secrets of mind opening is to be impactful and memorable in our communication. So somebody can say something like, you should not be selfish, put your country first. And somebody can say, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. So which one is better? Obviously the second one seems to be more impactful, and the way it is told and all that will make it sound more impactful. Okay. And then one more example I will give. So your assumptions, you are making assumptions about the business, and these are making us wrong. Versus when you assume, you make an as of you and me, as you and me. So all these 3 words it's a word play. So as you can see, the second statement will have a longer impact on the minds of the people. And the third example, I took something contemporary. So produce and consume more locally than relying on foreign imports and exports. So this has been recently replaced by something which some of you might have heard if you have actually listened to Doordarshan: become vocal about local. So obviously this forms a kind of slogan. So it opens people's minds. Otherwise, you just tell a bland text, then people will remain close. They'll listen to everything, and that too today we have too much of information overload. So nothing will go and sit in minds of people. So let us get on to the first mindset. There is nothing in that idea. Look for the other half of the picture. That is the solution to it. Okay, so look for the other half. Maybe we are missing out the other half of the picture. So many suggestions for improvement are rejected because people cannot immediately see the sense. So people will not suggest anything without having some sense. And the goal is to find that what that sense is. It may not be logical, but it will make sense in the end. And any creativity, the base is that once, in foresight, it will not be obvious. But in hindsight, everything will be obvious. After the creative idea has come out. So after the thing has come out, it will be obvious. So here, I know that some of my friends in this chat already, in this session already will know the answer to this. But for others, how many images do you see, like 1 or 2? Can you please answer in chat? Okay, sorry. Yeah. So this is the thing. So can you please answer how many images do you see? 1 or 2? Let me go to chat. Yes. Yes. So Mr. Srinivasan has said 2. Very good. So Mr. Anbumani has said 1. Okay. That's very interesting. Actually, I will. Yes. So anybody else? So whatever, you just put 2 or 1. So 2 minimum. Wow, great. So maybe people are able to see more than 2 also. Nice. So just tap your keys and just let us know how many you are seeing. So 3 of you have responded. So all the others, please put your number. How many images do you see here? Okay, 2, 2, 1, 2, etc., etc. Very good. So here we have different people giving different numbers, but majority of them, many of them are able to see 2, which is very good. So may I call out on Mr. Anbumani to please tell which is the figure you see? Like what is that one figure you see?
Sir, I look the face. Face with a feather cap.
Very good, sir. Very good. So it is a face of a Red Indian. That is something like a Red Indian guy. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, sir. And what about Ashish? Please, what is the one figure you see, sir?
Sir, I am looking at the same face, sir. Face with of a Red Indian.
Red Indian.
And that is on the looking at towards right, sir. On the left, I am able to see the lips and mush of somebody, but the eyes are not able to see nothing on the left side.
Left side, not fully formed figure, no? Okay.
Yeah, fine. Yes, that's true, sir.
Fine. Very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I'm going to ask somebody else who probably is able to see both. I will call Mr. Subramanya Bhatt, who is able to see 2 minimum. Can you tell which are the 2, sir?
One is the Red Indian's face, and second one is a man pointing towards the other side, like a backside man.
Very good. Can you use your cursor and show something? Can you? I don't know whether your cursor.
Annotate. You can tell them.
Probably here we can see one rat in the bottom side, bottom left side corner. There's a rat sort of thing is there.
Oh, nice. That's why you said more than 2. Okay. Very good. Great. Actually, we had only 2 in mind, but wonderful that you're able to see more than 2. Very good. Excellent. But I want the Mr. Anbumani to be convinced that there is another picture there.
No, sir. I still look the Red Indian only.
Red Indian only. Correct, sir. So can I request maybe one of our colleagues to annotate and show who could be the other figure, GSV?
Yes, I will do.
Yeah.
Can you see that annotation? Focus only within that drawn figure.
See, what GSV has done is he has annotated the figure there. So what you will see is that you will see that there is a figure of, this is the head of somebody. Let's say this is the head of an Eskimo or somebody, and he is entering into an igloo. Okay, so make it more clear. Let me show you two more pictures. And this is precisely the mind-opening moment for those of you who have seen only one figure. So let us say that, let me accentuate one figure. So here, surely this red Indian everybody is able to see. Now here is the other figure where we have actually separated that out. You see, we have separated out one figure, and somebody even sees it as, the figure of a woman carrying a baby also. And now if you look like this, it looks like an Eskimo actually entering into an igloo with a spear. So initially you see only one picture, but when you intentionally look, you look at the other picture, right? So you see both pictures now. Is it clear, sir?
Yeah, sir. Now it is clear.
Yeah. So that point where you saw the second picture is called the mind-opening moment. Okay, so that is where what happens is the same thing we will do with a lot of puzzles, and you will see that when you actually try to look for how this picture will be valid or how this picture will be validated, then your mind opens. The mind, which is used to going logically, starts jumping, and then it creates another picture, and then it all makes sense. So that is the way of opening the mind. So let us try one more. So here is one example. So let us take a handkerchief, a typical handkerchief, this size. I am able to show you on the screen here. This is small. So one fellow lays a bet. He says that, like children, they take bets with each other. So he says, I will have a bet with you. Now, this is a handkerchief. I will lay it on the floor. And on the floor, you will stand here and I will stand here. And I will make sure that you can't touch me. And he bets some amount, some 50 rupees, 100 rupees. Maybe they are small boys who are betting each other. Man it says. So man, maybe 50, 100 rupees. So what is how can I win this bet? So it is, if you look at it initially, if you look at it, with common sense, if somebody stands here and somebody stands here, it's obvious that they will touch each other. Is it possible that you can stand at the two ends of the handkerchief and you can still not touch each other? So try answering in chat, and we'll address that. My colleagues will also address it, whether you are able to answer. So read through this and see how to make sense of this puzzle. What do you think? If anybody would like to talk, you can raise your thumbs and I will call out on you, call you out. Doesn't make sense, is it? You can even, type saying no idea on the chat. So I'll know that you're thinking and you're trying to solve this problem. Give some solution. Or if you feel it cannot be done, standing on diagonally opposite corners. Very nice attempt, sir. Very nice attempt. But then you see, if somebody stands here and somebody stands here, I will still be able to very easily, turn my back and, easily touch that other person, isn't it? So very good attempt, but still may not meet the purpose. That fellow will lose the bet. That, I'm able to touch you. So how do you think he can win the bet? Any other thoughts? So you have to make this work. You have, the guy, you're on the side of the guy who has taken the bet. So the guy who took the bet, he says, somehow I'll have to win this bet. But I have taken a bet with him, in our movies and all, you get all these kind of scenes. He will take some impossible bet and somehow he'll win it. Folding his hands. Oh, okay. Ganesh, good attempt. Standing back to back. Oh, like this. Okay. But still, as I said, folding hands and all, the other fellow will not agree. Folding hands, nothing doing. You said you will have a kerchief and I will stand here, you will stand there. And still, I should not be able to touch you. So how is it possible? One can lean down and touch the leg, other can touch the head of the other. Nice, good attempts are coming up. And put your hands in the pocket. Okay, nice. Yeah, but no such restrictions, sir. No such restrictions. All have to have free hands and still they have to manage it. How do you do this? Hmm? Like in that first scene of that Darbar, I don't know how many of you have seen. It will almost look impossible that Rajinikanth can come into that place, but he will somehow come through the roof. So like that. So it is not clear. It is on the other corner of the handkerchief. Oh, okay. So Mr. Bhatt is saying that the handkerchief will be there and they will be standing on two corners. No, sir. The rule of the handkerchief game is they will both be standing on the same handkerchief and still not able to touch each other. How can they win this bet? Think creatively, visualize it. Yes, sir. Yes, JSV.
There is one more chat. They said stand and other sits down.
Oh, okay.
One stands and other sits down.
Yeah. But even if I stand, I can still, lean and touch, somebody who is sitting down. It is not too much of a distance if you see, right? So visualize it. See and visualize it. Even if the baby who is lying down, it is still okay. But this is man to man. The bet is between two men. So how is it possible that they cannot this thing? Okay, so very good efforts. Tear the good one. Very good. So getting more and more creative ideas. So tear the handkerchief. You take this part. Wonderful. So good attempt by all. So let me reveal the answer. And you watch for just cover yourself with bedsheet. Okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So you're saying I will not be able to touch your skin. So like that, like the corona social distancing. Okay. Nice. So here, what I want to say is that
both are sleeping.
Both. Good. So here the thinking is, and watch for that mind-opening moment when I discuss this, and all the other mind openers as well. So if I am taking a bet with you that I will make you stand on this end and I'm going to stand on this end, and I will not be able to touch you, that means that we should think in terms of there should be some barrier between you and me. So unless there is a barrier, I will surely be able to touch you. So the answer to this puzzle is that you slide the kerchief under a door and you close the door. So you still, one person will be able to stand on the other side and the other person will be able to stand on this side, and still we are not able to touch each other. So we have not damaged the kerchief. We have not done any contortion with each other. We have met the conditions of the bet, and still we have managed to win the bet as well. So because we are able to stand two well-grown men on both sides of the kerchief and still not able to touch each other. So this is one small example. Okay, so let us look at one technique now, and then I'll go on to some more puzzles like this or different types. So the suggestion is to keep the mind open is to use the technique of mind maps. So although the minds are open, they will soon close, and drawing the map will help you retain the open quality. So how do you use a mind map? You write in the middle of the paper the problem that you want to work on, and using this as the hub, you use spokes like hub and spoke of a cycle wheel. You use the spokes to write what are your ideas and go on filling if as necessary, and use pictures and symbols. Let me give you an example. So there is a topic here, there is a main point and a sub point. So this has been made popular by the great person called Tony Buzan, and there is a website called TonyBuzanWorld.com. Lot of mind maps are available. There are mind mapping softwares available. So these are tools you can use to keep your mind open, to think freshly on any topic. We are used to being so much of information being fed to us, and we are asked to follow right from childhood. But how to think originally, you can use this technique of mind map. So here is an example of a mind map. Tony Buzan was a great person. Unfortunately, he passed away. I think he's come to India also at one point and conducted some seminars. He has worked with a lot of children who had learning disabilities, and he has used this technique of mind maps to make them think and make them, self-sufficient. So let us take a simple mind map of goal setting. Okay, so I'm going to set goal for myself, and here is my goal, picture of a goal, and I'm taking 4 areas like health, wealth, growth, people, career. Now I'll leave you to read it on your own, but I will explain, let us say, just one part. Let's say career. So there are 4 sub bullets, if you see: now, when, how, and now, target, when, and how. So those are the 4. For everything you will see. Wealth also it is there. Now, target, when, and how. Similarly for people it is there. Now, target, when, and how. So people it is not there, I think, no? Or for the rest it is there. So for people it has been kept general. I think people, because you cannot think in terms of targets and all for people probably. So here if you see, say career, now is I am ambitious and I want to advance in my career. So what is the target is find a new job, and when is 6 months. How? Agencies contact, write CV, employer to speak, like that. So this will, if I keep this map in front of me, it will keep motivating me to think in those directions. Great. Very good. So I see a lot of good answers coming up on the chat. Okay. So now, since we have learned the mindsets and also a technique, a small technique on mindset, now let us go to Tuesday's mindset. Can't see how that can be done. It's a very, very interesting mindset, because we usually are our worst critic. We try to put restrictions on ourselves, and which is actually a problem. So once you get over this mindset, you will think that I didn't know that you were allowed to do that. For example, there is a very interesting story of the Lux company, and what happened is they have a conveyor and they have all these soaps in soap packets, and the problem they faced is there is a machine which actually puts the soap in the packet and it folds it and then it comes out. Now what happened is some of the packets did not have soap, so this was a big problem because the credibility of the company was at stake. So they brought forth all the experts and they said, we will give you a solution, $20,000 it will take, and we'll put an X-ray machine, and then we'll put a monitor and maybe a robotic arm which will weigh every packet, and then it will push out the packets which do not have the soap. So that was the solution they gave. Now interestingly, there was one intern in that whole thing. He said, no need $20,000, you give me $100, I will solve this problem. So everybody was surprised. Still the manager thought, okay, let us give this fellow a chance. Let us see what he does. $100. He took from his pocket and he gave him $100. So the boy actually went to some shop, electrical shop, and he bought 2 industrial fans, and he bought them into the shop floor and he put the fans there. And then, he ensured that the fans were operating on the conveyor. So the fans were at such a speed that if the weight was there, weight of the soap was there, it will not get blown off the conveyor. And if the soap was not there inside, it will get blown out of the conveyor. So it is a very simple solution, but it took somebody with a fresh mind to think of that solution. So, I mean, somebody who was thinking very linearly will think that only you have to do it this way only. And therefore, they ended up with a costly solution. Okay, now here is the very, very famous problem called the 9 dots problem. So this is where, I would request you to use that paper and pencil if you have it with you. So please draw these 9 dots on that paper and draw 4 straight lines to cover all the dots without taking the pencil off the paper. Now, if anybody is able to do it, then I will request you to actually show it to us using the annotation tools. Yeah, we'll take a break after this. Okay. Very good. Now we have got it. Yeah. Very good.
See, what is actually, you have to think out of thinking. This is. So you don't limit to your that particular points. You think yourself, and you can think in a broader way.
Yes.
So that you can have extrapolation of line.
Yes.
come here and go back, so that it will touches all the points.
Very good, very good. Thank you for sharing, sir.
Okay.
So basically, what we normally tend to do is we will try to remain within that box 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
and then we will try 4. Then we will miss out this particular line. So again we will try something else, and every time we will limit ourselves within the box, and therefore we will not be able to achieve it. So very good, and actually you can do it this way, as somebody has rightly shown, and so you can do it either this way or this way. But the main key point is that you need to go out of the box. So the moment you go out of the box, only then you will be able to solve it using 4 lines. Can you do it using 3 lines, sir? And it is one of the very interesting example of creativity where people put restrictions on themselves. So if it is possible to remove the restrictions, in fact somebody said, I will bring a big paintbrush and draw only 1 line. I'll just paint the whole thing with a single line. So that is also possible. You have covered all the 9 dots. Or somebody said, I will draw a line like this and take it all around the globe and bring it back and then again put it here. So there are so many solutions like this you can do for the 9 dots problem. The key takeaway here is that we sometimes restrict ourselves within the box, as sir was telling us. So that is the thing. Now let us look at a very quick mind opener here. 2 men are playing tennis. They played 5 sets, but each one 3 sets. How can this be? Chat, answer in chat. So 2 men are playing tennis. They played 5 sets, but each one won 3 sets. How is it possible? So when we just said 2 men are playing tennis, we have hidden one portion of the situation. The other 2 men are also playing. So, but they have played doubles. So obviously one set of 2 men has won. So that is the mind opening moment. We have to see that we make assumptions based on the statements which are there, right? So this is how based on what we see, say or do, we sometimes have a mind closing moment. So then we need to think of how it is possible that this can be done. And that in making that effort, we actually open our minds. So here we have seen so far 2 mindsets, which is like Monday's mindset, there is nothing in that idea, and Tuesday's mindset says, can't see how that can be done. Now we will go for Wednesday's mindset. It's very dangerous. There is only one way to look at it. So the answer to this is look at it in another way. So this mindset causes people to argue, fight, and in some cases they even go to war. We are typically conditioned by the first way to look at it, or our preconditioned views and experiences. And usually there is more than one way to look at a problem. So that is the key behind this mindset. So there's an interesting story of elevators being very slow. So once in this Otis elevators, they got a complaint that the elevators are very slow in our building. Please come and improve it. And it was a business building. So the engineers went and looked at the elevator and they said it cannot be made any faster because if we make it faster, then the danger is there that when it stops, then the tension on the wire will be high. And there's a danger of it snapping, so we'll not make it faster. So then they started thinking how else they could solve this problem. So everybody is saying elevators are slow. So they relooked at the problem and they said the problem is actually that they are waiting, okay, and they're waiting outside the elevator, then they're going inside the elevator, and then after that again they have to travel to that particular floor. So this whole problem, can we look at it in a different way? Can we look at it as how to make the waiting time very pleasant? So then somebody said, how to make it pleasant? Okay, maybe we can put some nice pictures outside and inside the elevator. Then somebody said, instead of picture, why don't we put mirror? Because the best picture to any man or woman is their own face. So why don't we put that? So they actually put a mirror. And since then, actually, it has become a best practice of putting mirrors outside the elevator. I mean, the older ones, if you see, they will be still of wood and all that. But some of the latest elevators, especially if you go to Singapore, you will find that all the elevators are outside you have mirrors, inside also you have mirrors. Now the mirror will serve 2 purposes. One is you can look at your own face and adjust your hair and all that. But the other option is that once you go into the elevator also, you'll know who is coming behind you, so that when the door closes, etc., so that you can be aware of how many people are there in the elevator, etc. So this was a fantastic way of looking at it in a different way. Okay, so that is an example of how to look at it in a different way. Now, can you answer in chat, what do you see in the picture? Can you answer in chat, what do you see in this picture?
Thank you.
And so this is again another view of that. This is another view of that. Now it will be more clear. Now I guess directly you will be able to see both the ladies, I hope. Or is it still a problem?
No. Okay. Both ladies are there.
Yes. So it is only that we need to get that practice in looking for that, and then you will be able to see in different ways. Okay. So now we come to a very interesting mind opener, how to look at it in another way. So here I have a pack of cards. So imagine that I am dealing this pack of cards. Okay, so there is a pack of cards here, which I am showing on the screen also to you on where I am there. So I am dealing this, and it's a game of rummy where I have to distribute the whole pack. The whole pack has to be distributed, let's say between 4 players or something like that. So I am going on distributing like this. Now, as I am distributing the cards, suddenly there is a loud sound from somewhere. So suddenly we drop all the cards and we run away and we see what has happened. Like 2-3 days back near Bangalore, near Whitefield, etc., there was some supersonic boom sound which happened. So something like that. So everybody starts going out and seeing what happened. Now we come back. After we see, oh, nothing is there. Okay, we come back to resume our card game. Now, what happened is somewhere we don't know where we missed out that card, So I don't want to reshuffle the cards. I don't want to count the cards also. How do I give the card in such a way that the person who is supposed to get it gets the exact card, what he is supposed to get? How do I do it? But if not, you can think. Is there any other way of dealing the cards? See, here's the clue. Look at it the other way. Look at it the other way means, what is one way of looking at it? One way of looking at it is I am dealing the cards in a, let's say, clockwise direction, like this, to everybody. Now, I have lost the count somewhere. So now, if I have to deal all the remaining cards, imagine that the last card will usually come to me, because I have started dealing from the person on my left. So now what I will do is, with the remaining cards, I will deal it the other way. What I will do is, I will put the last card. Yes, somebody has written that answer. Very good. We can distribute in reverse. Very good. Mr. Dharmalingam Marimuthu. Very nice. So that is exactly the answer to this. So you will put the last card to myself and the second last card to the person on the other direction. And then you will reverse the method of distributing the cards. So this is how you can solve this problem of card distribution, by looking at it in another way. So if given any problem, there are multiple ways to look at it. Like we saw the old woman and the young woman. So there are multiple ways of looking at it, and whole secret of mind opening is trying to look at it in multiple ways. Now here is another mind opener, mind closing situation where somebody says judgment based on facts says that will not work. Now today we are used to a lot of WhatsApp messages, and people pretend that it is fact, but actually a lot of junk comes up. So how do we know that it is really based on facts? So we need to scrutinize it. We need to look at whether it is really a fact or not. And if you question somebody's judgment, they will think you are questioning their personality. So it is very important not to question somebody's judgment. So here is a mind opener. So based on facts, so can you please count the number of F's? F5 means one F is there. Like that, can you count the number of F's from this 5 up to plan? How many F's are there? Can you quickly answer in chat, please? Yeah, the answer is 11. Answer is 11. Okay, because actually we have counted it out, and so many times we have counted it, and we have found that the answer is 11. You can slowly count it out later on, and you will find the answer. But actually, when you see, many people have said 10, 13 and so many different answers. The point we are trying to make here is, given the same facts, we might have missed something, and so many other, especially when it comes to details, we might have missed something. So this is exactly why we have audits, so that when you have audits, whatever is missed out, we can find out. So judgment based on facts. So factually, the company may declare that I am already ISO level, ISO, and I am CMMI, etc., etc. But when somebody, an external party comes, then they will come and try to look at it. So Ashish says it is 12, but actually it's 11, sir. We'll actually take out the sentence and give it to you. We'll go to a very interesting closed minder, like a mind getting closed, that it won't work if you do that, this happens. So this is like patterns. So all of you would have heard the story of Tenali Raman's cat. So the king had given a liter of milk for all the people and a cat in order to control the mice in the country. So what happened is that Tenali Raman wanted to drink the milk himself. So he boiled it at super hot degree centigrade, and then he gave it to the cat to drink. Now the cat got its mouth burnt. So after that, it never came near milk. So point is that we set ourselves in some patterns. We believe that the same pattern will apply all the places. So here is one mind opener we will see. Yeah. So here is one trapezium. Now we have built, divided it into 4. Okay, 4 equal shapes. Okay, 4 equal area shapes. And here we have an L-shaped figure, which we have again divided into 4 equal area shapes. Now I'm going to give you a square. Can you please divide it into 5 equal area shapes? Again, you can use your paper and pencil, what you have by your side, and then you can please annotate on the screen if you are ready. That you have to draw this line like this. But the point there is that usually you will find that our mind is getting set by these L-shaped and that other shape. So we'll always try to make square only. Using a square as the die, we'll try to split this. That is the mind opening part here.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So this is a very somewhat meaningless sentence, but can you find any meaning in it? Can you find any patterns in it? So that is the question. Next one.
A to Z alphabets are there, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Who is this, sir? Ashish, is it?
Ashish, sir.
Very good, very good, very good. Wonderful. Animals are referred. Nice. That is, somebody has found that animals, lot of animals. Good. That is also one pattern. But the more very obvious pattern is that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You see the starting letters of every word, it is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. So that is one kind of pattern. Excellent. So one more very simple pattern. I hope you can able to get it. So read the last sentence. What are the patterns? JF, ma'am, JJ as on D. By the way, JJ is not J. Jayalalitha and JF is not JF, John F. Kennedy. What are the names of the months in the year? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay. So this is again ways in which you can see there will be some junk. It is especially useful when you look at what is it called, this data analytics and all. Much of the data they get will be like junk, but they have to make sense. They have to see any patterns are there. So that is also a kind of mind opening. Then only you will be able to look at what are the possibilities, okay, for progress. Now the last, the second last mindset, it won't work when it comes to the details. So when people are convinced that an idea will not work, they will tend to work against it. And one way of changing this mindset is to convince people not only to look at the big picture, but also the details. And if the big picture makes sense, then the details can be made to work. So if you see here, you can see, I hope you're able to see 2 images here. One is when you look at it as a big picture, you're able to see something, and a detail something. So quickly in chat, can you say what you see? In this picture, can you quickly say what you see? Or you can even, somebody can even speak. What are the things you see in this picture?
Sir, it is a face
Tree
and a
and
father.
a young lady. Both,
Young,
both are there.
young
Tree,
lady and
in between a young lady face.
wonderful, sir. So because of previous practice with the young lady, now we are able to identify. Great. Yeah. Ashish, sir, you're saying something, Ashish?
Yes, sir. Two trees on the side of the young lady, sir. And trees are making her eyebrows and eyes and her face.
Wonderful.
And her
So
nose.
as you can see, nose.
Nose, the pollens dropping down are making the nose, sir.
Wow. Super. So everybody is able to now open their mind sufficiently to look at both. Unfortunately, some people may only be able to see the lady. We have to also see the trees. So we have to see the wood and the trees. Okay. So here is a very interesting mind opener. So there is a ladder hanging. This is like one MBA question. Okay. So there is a ladder hanging over the side of a boat. 10 rungs are showing above the water line. 10 rungs. And rungs are 1 feet apart. Now the water level is rising due to some floods or something, and it is rising at 6 inches every minute. How many rungs of the ladder will be covered after 10 minutes? Quickly give your answer in chat. So all of you would have mentally calculated it to be 6 or 5 or whatever it is. And if you look at it logically, surely the answer should be how much? 6 inches, no? So 1 foot will be every 2 minutes it rises 1 foot. That means in 10 minutes it will be 5 feet. So 5 rungs. So each rung is 1 feet apart. So that is our general thinking. That is called that minute thinking, detailed thinking. But if you look at it as a big picture, the answer is actually unfortunately not right. The answer is the 0 rungs, because you should remember that when the water level rises, then the boat itself will rise. Why should the ladder alone be sinking in? Unless the boat is sinking, the boat will rise with the water. Therefore, the answer is 0 rungs will be covered, because the same number of rungs will be shown in front of this thing. Great. So I hope some of you are having that mind-opening moment. I can see that. So that is the answer. That sometimes we rush to the solution, but the real answer will be that it will be a different one. Okay, great. So let us quickly go to the last mindset, which is Sunday. People always say, it is impossible, and people show magic tricks, this and that, and then, we conclude that this is not possible. So the answer to this mindset is, you don't know what is impossible unless you try. You have to try something out in order to see whether it's possible or not. The best example I can give here is of a person called Roger Bannister. Somebody said that you cannot run a mile in 4 minutes. And he is well credited to have broken that barrier. As you can see, this was quite long back. But somebody said, the doctor said, if you run a mile in 4 minutes, your heart will pop out of your mouth. And your heart cannot take that kind of pressure. But actually, Roger Bannister proved it otherwise. And he actually was able to do it very well. And therefore, this was a great achievement. So you have to keep trying. Only then you will know what is possible. So here is one question here. Is something you will have to try it out. You take a normal A4 sheet. Okay. So let's say you take a normal sheet, a sheet of paper like this. And then you fold it. Then you fold it twice, then 3 times, then 4 times, etc. Can you fold it 10 times or not? Please answer yes or no in the chat. 10 times. Can you fold it yes or no? But normal A4 sheet, if you actually try, even if you try some 5-6 times, you will be able to fold it. But beyond that, you will find it very difficult. So the general answer to this will be no only, most probably. Okay. Great. Now the next one, see, there is a barrel of water. You can see I am demonstrating it with a small cup here. So let's say it is like a barrel of water. And when I was staying in Mumbai, we usually used to store water in a barrel. And 2 roommates used to share the same barrel of water. So while bathing, the first guy to bathe has to take exactly half of this barrel. And leave the remaining half for the other roommate. So how will you know that you have taken half of the barrel without any other measuring instrument? Is it possible to know that at all, or is it not? That's the question. So here is the way we used to do it. So you slowly pour the the water into some other mug or something. You slowly start pouring it, and then at any point you just try tilting the barrel. So when you tilt the barrel, suppose you are at this point where you are just able to see the bottom. You are at a point where you are able to just see the bottom of the barrel. So what you have done is you have split the barrel into 2. So this is the bottom half and this is the top half. So when you are just barely able to see the bottom of the barrel, so that is the point when you have taken half. Okay, so that is one way of doing it without actually touching the barrel, without making any markings. Is it fine? Is it kind of acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Fine, sir. So the message by all this is that we have tried to use the mind openers to open our minds to different situations, and we saw the technique of mind maps also to do it. And we can actually use these riddles and use this as metaphors to try to open our minds in different situations. So I'll conclude with the story of the frogs. So there are 2 frogs which are actually playing around, and they are playing in a certain milkman's house, let us say. It is all the cows are there, and some frogs also came into the milkman's house. There are 2 cans of milk. So with milk at the bottom, little about a quarter can of milk is there. Milkman has somehow gone. Yes, the milk and he left it in the corner. Both the frogs fell into the milk can. Well, 2 milk cans. Okay, and what happened is one frog said, "Oh my God, life is gone. I cannot get out of this can. I will drown and I will die." So that frog just waited until his strength was there, and then he kind of went under the milk. But the other frog, he said, no, I should be able to do it. So he started kicking. So when he kicked up, he was not able to go out of the can, but he kept on. So what happened is, after a long time, the milkman came, because next day morning he came and he tried to clean all the cans and he has to catch the milk. So in one of the milk cans, the frog which did not try, it was unfortunately drowned because it did not do anything. But the second milk can, the frog kept on kicking the milk. So what happened is, it created a ball of butter, and the frog was very tired, but it was still alive. It was standing on the ball of butter, and so when the milkman actually threw the milk away, then the frog actually happily jumped away and went away. But unfortunately, the other frog, which did not do anything, passed away. So the moral of the story is that, given any situation, difficult situation, we should have the attitude of, yes, I can do it, and we should try to use our mental faculties to the maximum, and we should try to see how best we can come out with creative solutions. So that is the sum and substance of this. So I take this opportunity once again to thank you very much for your time, and we've almost on time. I think we've overshot it a little bit, but I hope that you have got some value from the session. Thank you very much, all of you, once again.